we have something pretty special here to talk about for the next few minutes. And I am welcoming in not only Jenny Horn, live from the TD Ameritrade Network, but co-founder of LikeFolio, Landon Swan, is live in studio to talk to us about LikeFolio. Now, Landon, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Nice to be here in person.
Welcome to Chicago. First and foremost, he's taller in person, isn't he?
He is. He's definitely taller in person.
First thing I think when I see something like this, he could dunk on me. He can make me look really bad. I'd be that guy in his video like this. You know? I don't want to be that guy. All right.
Okay.
You are here to tell our viewers, give them a basic intro to what you guys do at LikeFolio, and it's substantial. When we have you guys on, and we do it daily, talking about earnings, you can't argue with some of the data you guys put out. You guys have had a great run in terms of your data and their accuracy. So I think it's time for you to explain to our viewers how you get it done, what you do, and exactly what LikeFolio does for TD Ameritrade clients and everyone who subscribes.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a good point because we're on here every day, and
right.
we have to get to the point very quickly. So today's
right.
a good time to expand a little bit. So what we do at LikeFolio is we look at social media for shifts in consumer spending behaviors on Main Street before it becomes news on Wall Street. And so the way that we do that is we're looking for mentions of brands and products of publicly traded companies, and we roll those up to those companies, and then we look at how has that changed over time. And so one of the main things that we do is not only do we look at that tweet, but we're looking at, are people talking about spending money on that product? And that's really the key. We call that purchase intent.
Purchase intent. That's a word we use a lot on this show.
Exactly. So what that means is someone is on social media and they're talking about a brand or product, and they're talking about spending money on that brand or product. The reason that we track purchase intent is because that is what we tie to top line revenue. We've had a couple of universities do studies on it, proved through peer-reviewed published journals that it is predictive of top line revenue. And so,
first and foremost, I have my first question. Do you get your data 100% from Twitter, or
yes.
do you use all social media?
It's 100% for Twitter. And
there you go. Okay.
We love that because people are forced to get to the point, right? You know, you've only got so much space to talk about what you're talking about. And for whatever reason, people love to share their entire lives on Twitter, and especially when they're spending money. They're going to a restaurant, they're buying a new iPhone, they're signing up for Netflix, whatever it may be. We're tracking that, and we're looking for that over time.
I believe you just described Jenny Horn in a nutshell.
Right.
Not quite, but we do talk about that a lot with the tourism stocks. People love to share, whether it's oversharing positive, negative news, they're definitely sharing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, one of the things that we do, we do a lot of longer term trends, of course, but a huge advantage that LikeFolio has is people are talking about spending money right now, and that's the current quarter. And we know that information during the fiscal quarter, and then the company will report that 4 or 5 weeks later. So that's our window of opportunity, and that's why when we come on this show, we're often talking about who's reporting this week and how we think they're going to do.
Yeah, you're giving the data out before the data is collected and published and put out by the company. You're giving the data as almost in real time, frankly.
That's right. Yeah, we're collecting it in real time, and then we aggregate it for the entire fiscal quarter, and we say what we think, how that quarter went exactly. And so one of the things that we do, we're on this show once a day, and we're able to do 5 a week, right? But we cover 300 companies, and so every quarter we're putting that data out on 300 companies. So we're not able to cover all of it on this show. So we've actually got a product called our Sunday earnings sheet where we put out a list of all the companies who are reporting in the upcoming week and how we think their fiscal quarter went and what we expect out of the
So
stock.
on Sunday, right? This comes out Sunday evening sometime, and it lists the earnings for the next week and and your data on each earnings name, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So you get a Sunday night pre-look, like a first look at the earnings for the next week.
Exactly. And I print these out. These are like I carry these around with me.
The Bible.
It is wonderful. So for 10 weeks we've got these, and it's been 2 or 3 weeks of kind of no trading, and I'm so excited to get going again. This is our week 1, and we've got 10 more of them coming up. So the first one, our week 1, is coming out this Sunday. And so we've got the sheet up here, and I kind of want to walk through what it is because
a lot of columns,
a lot of data.
It's a little hard to put on camera, but try to give them the best view of it that
Absolutely.
you can.
Yeah, so on the far left, you've got which companies are reporting, and you'll notice that they're organized by day. And so the M is Monday, T is Tuesday. So you can see Bank of America and Progressive are they're not reporting on Monday, but that's the last day that you can trade because they report Tuesday before.
Yeah, but if it's Tuesday morning, you got to trade it by the end of the day Monday. We deal with that a lot on this show.
Exactly. And so what we do for each company, that third column, or the historical confidence, is extremely important. So we are very transparent with the fact that some of our data is very good for some companies and it's so-so for others. And so we've got that back-tested data and we're showing you exactly how well it's done. So every company's got a score from 0 to 10. So for example, Netflix is one of our better ones. It's got a win rate of 78% and plus 8% per trade. And so Netflix does extremely well, but we want to be very transparent about which ones are better and which ones are not.
Yeah, so break down Netflix for us, because that's a stock we talk a lot about with LikeFolio data.
Sure. So I'll go through the columns with Netflix. That's a good plan. So the purple there, the QOQ, that's quarter over quarter change. And so for each one of those, it's how has purchase intent changed over the last quarter. So for Netflix, it's up 16%, while the stock, the next column, is up 39%. And we like to look at how those two relate to each other. And so 16 minus 39 is negative 23. In other words, the data does not support the stock going up this much, right? So that difference is what that is. And the next three columns are year over year. So we do quarter over quarter and year over year. A lot of companies are very seasonal, and so that's why we like to do year over year as well. So for Netflix, again, up 10% year over year, positive numbers, but the stock's up 21%. So our data doesn't necessarily support that run. So that difference is negative 11. So that results in a bearish call on Netflix because the data is strong, but the stock's run maybe a little bit too much.
Well, guess what? You just got your move. Go ahead, Jen.
So you mentioned,
right.
You mentioned in your trader thoughts this is not a long-term position. So what's a play you could make that would be short-term, obviously bearish, as you just mentioned?
Right. So, with Netflix, one of the things we're talking about the company being a little bit overbought here, not weak, right? There's a big difference there.
Big difference.
So a lot of times we see a situation where purchase intent is way down, and that's, we're ready to fire on those bearish. This is a little bit weaker.
You had one this week with Bed Bath & Beyond, right? A big bearish call on Bed Bath & Beyond, and the stock went down, 9.5%, almost 10%.
Yeah, we're happy with that one, obviously. But yeah, so with Netflix, it's before the Disney news comes out, then it's maybe not a long-term bearish play. With Disney, maybe it is. But just looking at the data, it's bearish in the short term. So a lot of times people want to trade these in a way that is risk-defined, obviously.
Of course.
That's fantastic. So if you want to look at maybe a May put spread, something like that, that'd be a good way to play Netflix. And so we do this for every single company. This is page 1 of week 1.
Yeah.
We got 300 companies every week or every quarter, and so this is. I'm so excited to finally get going. This is not the most exciting week, I would say. With Netflix is awesome, but we've got Apple and Amazon and Tesla coming up over the next couple of weeks.
And think about
we're ready
this.
to go.
When the social media data gets stronger as you get into earnings on some of these names. Think about Apple and the social media on Apple.
Yeah.
Think about Tesla, how big Tesla is on social media. All these companies, and so what I'm getting at here is the sample size, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, some don't have a lot of tweets. Some have a massive amount of tweets. Jenny is in charge of collecting those for us.
Going through
some are easier than others.
Exactly,
definitely.
right? So how does that affect what you guys do?
So sample size is really important. So actually, we've got a couple in this upcoming week that are kind of low sample size, and we call those out in the trader notes. So the trader notes are essentially our interpretation. We've been doing this for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
We've read the studies, we know how this is predictive, and we know what to look for. And so inside those trader notes, we talk about how to play it, why we're going this way, and maybe why you should avoid this trade. And low sample size is one of those reasons. But for a company like Netflix, the sample size
is there bullish, bearish, neutral readings?
Absolutely.
Some is like, we're kind of in the middle.
So and this week we've got like 10 companies reporting.
Yeah.
Not that many first week, and we've only got 4 calls.
Right.
3 bearish and 1 bullish this week.
Sometimes it's right in the middle, right?
Exactly.
You don't have anything.
If we agree with the market, like purchase intent's up 20% and the stock's up 20%, we have no edge, right? The market's already priced in what we think should be happening. But if purchase intent's up 20% and the stock is flat or down, that's when we're firing bullish.
Yeah,
Now,
go
are
ahead.
there any limitations with this? Because occasionally we do talk about companies where we don't mention any non-English speaking tweets.
Right, so the limitations are this is consumer facing only. You know, we're not covering Alco and nobody tweets about buying that stuff.
Right.
And it's English speaking only. So primarily the companies that we cover are English, or US companies. We've got a few Canadians and a few in Great Britain, but generally speaking, the customers have to be English speaking.
Okay, now you have a relationship with TD Ameritrade. But how can people get more information on LikeFolio, or people that maybe just watch this network get a relationship with LikeFolio itself?
Sure, so obviously they should be watching this every day, right?
Clearly.
Of course.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But
That
then
just
also,
got you invited back, by the way.
but yeah, just likefolio.com, that's it. If you go there, you'll actually see a link for a demo to go over this. I know this is kind of a quick hit,
Right.
But we have a long demo that goes over exactly how this works and how you can get it at likefolio.com.
All right, this is stuff, and people have the right to be a little skeptical when they see it for the first time, but the more you spend time with this,
Oh, yeah.
the more a part of your trading it becomes. And we use it on Fast Market. We go through, we take the keys off of some of this data, and it's hard to argue. Right?
It is. Bed Bath & Beyond this week was the
Bed Bath
perfect
& Beyond,
example of
massive.
that.
Yeah, win.
Yeah, I'm still riding high from Weight Watchers as well.
Weight Watchers
that
was another one. I mean, you've had some
Yeah.
pretty strong calls, and some of them, frankly, against the grain
Oh, yeah.
of the trend in the market.
And that's what we look for. We look for when we disagree with the market. We call
I've
that
heard you guys
divergence.
say that on the
Yeah.
air, where the stock is not acting like your data.
Right. So there's an underlying assumption that we know exactly how much people are buying these products, and if we go with that assumption and we see what the stock price is doing, we think it should be going up and it's going down. That's where we love. That's what we want. When we agree with the market, it's
kinda
nice to be.
boring.
It's nice to be right, but
Yeah.
you can't make money, right?
Exactly.
So we want
Divergence
the divergence. We
is
want the
where we
market
have
to be
fun.
wrong. Exactly.
All right, Landon Swan, thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely.
Well, you'll be at the Market Drive with us all tomorrow for
Yes.
TD Ameritrade
Yep.
clients.
Can't wait.
Make sure you know that at the Hyatt Regency downtown. Jenny Horn will be there as well.
I will be there as
So
well.
we'll all be downtown at the Hyatt Regency. All right, guys. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Landon, for coming on.